Welcome to our In Focus discussion tonight on Assistance Dog Appreciation Week. Assistance dogs are crucial to their human companions, helping them with debilitating physical and mental conditions that can be life-threatening. Tonight we want to recognize them for their work, as well as those who raise and train them. Kicking off our conversation tonight is Maria Schwarz, who is a U.S. Navy veteran, and her service dog, Phoenix. And Maria,
yes.
Maria, thank you so much for your service, first of all, and thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for your support. Thank you for having us.
At your own comfort level, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your military career, and what led to you meeting Phoenix?
Well, I was in for 4 years, and my husband went to the Persian Gulf War. So back then you had to not have kids and both be in the military. So I got out, and then I developed some vertigo with falling down. And so he was saying, you need a dog, and Phoenix came. So she's not the ideal breed for a service dog. I mean, she repeated the class, but she leans on me when I'm dizzy. She notices, and then she'll come around and hunch her back so that I can crawl up.
What's the process for a potential handler and the dog that they get matched up to? Do you get to choose her, or how is that matching process?
Well, I purchased her before I knew about Paws for Patriots, and then I found out about it. So the program actually will match you up with a dog, but you're not stuck with that dog. If you go through the 3 classes and it just doesn't work out, they will provide another dog and take ownership back of that dog. So it's a pretty easy program, and it's for veterans and first responders, so it's not just veterans.
May I ask what you initially got her for before you decided, okay, I want to train her also to be my service dog?
Well, I got her in hopes that she would be a service dog. This breed, she's a Boer Bull, which is a South African Mastiff, was recommended to me because they're intuitive, so they kind of pick up on what you need. I also have migraine condition, and she'll lay on me for that. And then at the vet one day, somebody said, is she a service dog? And I said, no, but do you know someone? And they were like, yeah, 4 Paws. So it was pretty easy after that, except she was pretty rambunctious that first year. She didn't really want to, she wanted to play.
Because she was still a puppy.
Right.
That's how my dog is.
Yeah.
First 3 years actually was sort of a nightmare. How old is Phoenix now?
She just turned 4 on the 30th of July.
Oh, well, happy belated birthday to her. How has Phoenix impacted your life, and how crucial is she to your well-being and safety?
She goes everywhere with me. We go to classes and teach kids about it. I mean, she has been kind of a godsend because I can talk to her. She knows when I need something. She's just always right there. She's kind of my angel.
Do you have any stories? I know you were telling me one particular one of when you all had dinner at the Capitol. Can you give some examples where maybe you had a situation and she was there to help mitigate that?
Yeah, actually, I was at my parents' house last summer, and they live in California, and she kept spinning in circles around me. And I was like, what is going on? And she picked up on my blood pressure on her own. My blood pressure was too high, and I sat down, took my blood pressure, took a rescue pill, and she laid right down. So it was like, I just need to listen to her more.
So she can detect things happening in your body before you even know.
Exactly, she does.
That is incredible.
It is incredible. And it's amazing the things that dogs know.
Maria, last month we celebrated the 31st anniversary of the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act. How has that law impacted you and Phoenix?
Well, that's a great law and a great question, because a lot of businesses do not know that they are supposed to allow your service dog in with you. And we have had one situation where they wouldn't let us in. And so we kindly handed them an ADA card, and I emailed the company, and they changed their policy. So it's something that needs more awareness, that a service dog is like an appendage sometimes. You know, if you're stressed, I mean, she knows when people are behind me and she'll get behind me and say, kind of stay away, or she just picks up on things. And having that ADA law is huge because, I mean, she goes on airplanes with me. She goes on buses. She's just there all the time.
Yeah, she's adorable. I can't help but look at her. Maria, what do you want viewers to know when it comes to dog handlers and their service dogs? It took 31 years since the ADA has passed, and yet we still have businesses and people who don't know about the accommodations that that law requires.
Right.
What do you want people to know? We
want them to know specifically that this dog is not a pet. She is a pet if she doesn't have her vest on, or she's not working, basically. She is a pet. But when we're in public, she is working, and she knows she's working, and they need to be allowed to go places. And if people want to pet them, they need to ask permission first, you know, approach the handler, and then don't be offended if we say no, she's working. You know, I do let a lot of kids pet her because she's a large dog. And
we have so many pictures that you sent with her and kids and children.
Right, and they love her. And like I said, we go to classrooms, but there are times when she is hyper-focused on what I need. And at that time, I sometimes need to say, no, I'm sorry, she's working, please understand.
Do you notice her demeanor change when you put on the vest?
Oh, she's totally 100% different. 100% different. If you take off the vest, even if she, like, I can't pinch this, but she knows if she's wearing it, she's working.
Yeah.
So if she takes this vest off, she is 100% 100% a dog. And she's playing, she wants to play ball, she wants to play frisbee, play with other dogs, but this is how she is. She is right by my side. Part of the testing is that you have to put your dog and then walk away. She likes to be by my side because she knows I might fall.
She is your partner in
Yeah,
crime.
she
Thank
is.
you so much, Maria.
Thank you.
You've been hearing from Maria Schwarz, who is a U.S. Navy veteran, and her service dog, Phoenix. Maria, thank you so much for joining us tonight. If we can say bye-bye, Phoenix, thank you so much both for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you for having us.
We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us for our second In Focus discussion tonight on Assistance Dog Appreciation Week. Up next in our conversation is Allie Johns, who is a U.S. Army veteran, and her service dog, Nacho. Allie, first of all, thank you for your service, and thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
We'd like to start our conversation with getting to know a little bit more about you. Can you tell us a little bit, at your own comfort level, about your military career and what led to you meeting Nacho?
So I was active Army for a little bit. I had 2 MOSs, a 68 Whiskey, which is combat medic, and a 31 Bravo, which was military police. And then currently just stopped working, and now I'm doing full-time schooling. And so my military career and past previous experiences as a kid had led to me to having PTSD, unfortunately. So that is what led me to Nacho, was I had some unfortunate experiences happen not too long ago where I needed to get like a psych eval and a mental evaluation, and they said, you know what, I think a service dog would benefit you. And so I said, okay, let's start the process. And I did some research and led me to Canines with a Cause, which eventually led me to Nacho.
I love that. How were you paired with Nacho? Did you get to choose? Did they pair him with you?
Yeah, they have several dogs that they would send me photos, and you know, they're like, do you think this is a good fit? And so you can basically choose which dog you want. There had been several offers, and I was like, you know what, I don't feel like this is gonna be mine. I'm more of an active kind of person.
I saw your pictures, you hike a lot.
Yes.
You do archery.
Yeah, so I needed a dog that would be able to keep up, which Nacho's the perfect dog for that. So they do let you choose which dog you want. And so it was an amazing experience, and I was able to find Nacho through that.
That's good. Allie, tell me about how crucial Nacho is for your safety and well-being. How has he impacted your life?
So he's impacted it just immensely. Like, my PTSD gives me severe anxiety in public settings. You know, he's able to direct me out of buildings where I feel uncomfortable. He's able to sense my anxiety and he'll alert me before I even know. There's several twitches that I have where like I pick at myself or I shake or I clench my fists, and some of his techniques he'll just lick me or he'll apply pressure, you know, or sometimes he'll guide me to an empty area or a secluded room and he'll just do pressure techniques for me. He'll even guide me through crowds if I need him to exit me. So it's a really good tool to have. He's an amazing medical tool.
What a smart boy.
Yeah.
Allie, what do you want people to know about dog handlers who may be out in public who are still maybe training their service dog?
So we've had several experiences where we've had just people in our neighborhood that would have their pets out off leash, and you know, while I have Nacho on leash and we're taking walks, their dog would just run over to us and distract him while we're training or while he's actually working. And I think it just distracts him from the fact that he's actually working, and he goes from working mode to a playful mode. And so it's hard to get him back on track sometimes, especially since he is still training. He's not fully 100% trained yet. It takes upwards of 2 years to get them fully trained to exactly what you need them to do.
And how old is Nacho right now?
He's 2, he'll be
Okay.
3.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
so
we
he's
still
still
have
puppy.
some time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So it takes a little bit of time. So adding an extra animal to it when they're trying to train is a little distracting.
Allie,
Yeah.
there have been scenarios where people have falsified their animal as a service animal for who knows what reasons, maybe so that they can bring their dogs to more public places. What are your thoughts on that?
You know what? I've seen scenarios where I'd be out in public and there will be dogs falsified as service animals, and it's kind of appalling to see that.
How do you tell that they're being falsified?
So it's the demeanor of it. I mean, I've seen a dog walk into a Walmart and they're just consistently distracted. They'll bark at people, they'll run and jump on people, they'll basically have accidents in aisles, they'll just, it's degrading. It's very obvious and degrading to the individuals who actually need these animals for medical reasons or mental reasons, whether it's, you know, visual or not. So it's just harder because us as individuals have to actually fight and prove ourselves. It's kind of hard when you get stopped consistently by every little person asking you if it's a service animal, and then you have someone to your right whose animal is consistently acting up. So it's a struggle.
And it makes it harder for those like you who legitimately need a dog, and these are probably why you have to face these barriers.
Yes, definitely.
Allie, we have about 30 seconds left. Last question. What do you want people to know if they're considering donating a dog to a service animal organization?
We would love to have dogs donated without a fee. A lot of people are like, oh, I'll give your organization like an animal out of our litter, but it's for a charge, which a lot of these organizations are for nonprofit, so it's not like they have a lot of income coming in to just willingly hands out thousands of dollars, because a service dog could cost about $15,000 to buy initially fully trained. So,
Right. Think about the bigger cause.
Yeah,
at hand
exactly.
here. Thank you so much. You've been hearing from Allie Johns, who is a U.S. Army veteran, and her service dog, Nacho, who is such a good boy.
Yes, you are.
Allie, thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
To you and Nacho for being on the
Thank
show.
you for
We
having
enjoyed
us.
you.
Hi. Thank you.
We'll be right back. Welcome to our third and final In Focus discussion tonight on Assistance Dog Appreciation Week. Rounding out our conversation tonight is Nicole and Chris Renouillo, who are both dog trainers and handlers, as well as their dog Asher. And Nicole and Chris, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're really happy to have you.
Thank
you for having us.
Chris, I'd like to start the conversation with you. Could you tell me about your organization, Labs for Liberty, as well as the family culture?
So Labs for Liberty started late 2014. To date, we've, as a whole, we've gifted 123 dogs. Not us, the whole organization.
You don't want to take credit for the whole organization.
No, but we're super, you know, everyone's treated like family. From the owners, they treat the trainers, the veterans, you know, whether you're a veteran that received a dog, whether you're married that veteran that received a dog, whether you're a trainer, everybody gets together. If you need help, someone's going to come running. You go over to Joan and Roger's house, and she always has cookies.
Sorry.
But we're just there's a lot of us, but we're really close knit.
And that's where the family culture comes from. Nicole, who do these dogs typically go to?
All of the dogs are gifted to deserving military veterans and their families. Some dogs actually go to Purple Heart families, so the veteran actually passed away and the dog will go to the family. And they all have done like amazing things for all the families they go to.
Yeah, very, very deserving. Chris, how long have you two been training service dogs, and do you know how many you two have worked with over the years?
We've been training with the organization for approximately 5 years. We've had a hand in training directly or indirectly 9 dogs ourselves. He's not our dog, he's going to somebody. Every dog is 100% free to the veteran. Doesn't cost them a thing. They get wherever they're from. We're lucky enough that we train dogs for local veterans, so we still hang out with the veterans even after the dog's gifted. Go to baseball games, barbecues. You know, we see our guys on a regular basis. Just because we say goodbye to the dog doesn't mean we say goodbye to the family or that particular veteran.
And it's because you've built that bond. When you train that dog, you have such a special place in their heart, and they have a special place in your heart. And I'm so glad to hear that that relationship doesn't end once you turn over, right, the service dog to their handler.
Yeah, they stay. And again, even Joan checks in on everybody.
Good, good.
Absolutely everybody. So.
Nicole, what sparked both of your interests to become dog trainers?
So I kind of threw this on Chris one day. I came home and said, I think we need to do this. And I actually grew up in California. I had an uncle that served, and he came back with both of his legs amputated. And he never had a service dog. He spent his life in a wheelchair, and it was really hard for him. And I just felt like this was a perfect way to give back to somebody else that obviously deserves to have a service dog and could benefit so much and get so much more out of life from having a dog. And that kind of sparked me wanting to join, and then I talked Chris into it, and here we are.
She just came home with a dog one day.
Yeah.
But that's how you do it.
Yes.
You ask for forgiveness, not permission.
Yep.
Chris, how long does it take, or how long could it take to train a service dog?
Depending on what the particular veteran needs, we've trained dogs that have been ready up to 10 months, all the way up to a year and a half, and any time in between. But again, we see all our dogs on a consistent basis. So if the veteran, oh, you know I asked for this, but I'd really like that instead, we just go over and train them or teach them how to train them now. And so the training really never stops, but for the most part, 10 to 18 months.
That is quite the investment of time. And Nicole, what are some of the things that you're able to teach the dogs to do?
So we will train for both physical and like PTSD disabilities. So physically, we can teach dogs to pick things up off the floor. Like if a veteran has a bad back, they'll pick stuff up off the floor. They can press handicap buttons to open doors out at grocery stores. They can, if someone falls on the ground, we can teach them to brace. So if there's nothing around and they can't get up, they can actually use the dog to get back up off the floor. We have dogs that have been taught to pull off socks, turn on light switches, and then for PTSD, some of that stuff, like the people before us were talking about, like they get anxious. He can actually like walk circles around you out in public to help form that physical barrier of causing anxiety and more stress when people are in public. And so he will form that barrier and that bubble to help keep them more relaxed. He will wake up people from nightmares and just lay on their chest and lick their face to calm them down and help them get back to sleep, and pick up on different things that, like, some veterans have, like, as the previous person said, like, their hands will like get tense and they'll go over and lick their hands. So very, very various things.
We're talking about literal guardians and life-saving
Yes.
partners.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much, Nicole and Chris. You have been hearing from Nicole and Chris Renuio, who are both dog handlers and trainers for Labs for Liberty, as well as their dog, Asher. And Nicole and Chris, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Thank you for what you do. We appreciate being able to have this conversation with you tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
And remember, we'd love to hear from you about the show. We invite you to join our Facebook group by searching ABC4 In Focus, or send us an email, infocus@abc4.com.